Om Shanti. This is the Englsih Murli of the 27th of January 2024. Essence: Sweet children, the spiritual surgeon feeds you with this wonderful first-class nourishment of knowledge and yoga. Continue to offer this hospitality to everyone by serving them with this spiritual nourishment. Question: what habit should you make effort to imbibe very firmly in order to claim your fortune of the kingdom of the world? Answer: make effort with your third eye of knowledge to see souls as brothers seated on their immortal thrones. Consider all to be brothers and give them this knowledge. First consider yourself to be a soul, and then explain to your brothers. Instill this habit in yourself, and you will receive your fortune of the kingdom of the world. It is with this habit that the consciousness of the body will be removed. Storms of Maya and bad thoughts will not come, and others will be struck very well by the arrows of knowledge. Om Shanti. The spiritual Father, who gives each of you a third eye of knowledge, sits here and explains to you spiritual children. No one except the Father can give you a third eye of knowledge. Now that you children have received a third eye of knowledge, you know that this old world is about to change. The poor people don't know the one who will change it or how he will change it, because they don't have a third eye of knowledge. You children have now received a third eye of knowledge with which you know the beginning, the middle, and the end of the world. This is the saccharin of knowledge. Even one drop of saccharin is so sweet. There is just the one word of knowledge, man, man above. Consider yourself to be a soul and remember the Father. The Father is showing you the path to the land of peace and the land of happiness. The Father has come to give you children your inheritance of heaven, and so you children should have a great deal of happiness. It is said, there is no nourishment like happiness. It is as though it is nourishment for those who remain constantly happy and in pleasure. This is the powerful nourishment for staying in pleasure for 21 births. Continue to serve each other with this nourishment. You offer spiritual hospitality to everyone on the basis of Srimat. To give someone the Father's introduction is also to give the true state of well-being. You sweet children know that you are receiving the nourishment of liberation in life from the unlimited Father. In the Golden Age, Bharat was liberated in life. It was pure. The Father gives very great and elevated nourishment. This is why there is the song, if you want to know about supersensuous joy, ask the gopis and gopis. This nourishment of knowledge and yoga is first class and wonderful, and it is only the one spiritual surgeon who has this nourishment. No one else knows about this nourishment. The Father says, sweet children, I have brought gifts on the palms of my hands for you. These gifts of liberation and liberation in life remain with me. It is I who will come to give you these every cycle. Then Ravan snatches them away. Therefore, how high your mercury of happiness should rise in you children. You know that it is only the one Father, Teacher and Sat Guru who takes you back with him. You receive the kingdom of the world from the most beloved Father. This is not a small thing. You should always remain cheerful. Godly student life is the best. This saying applies to this time. Then, in the new world too, you will continue to celebrate in happiness. People of the world do not know when true happiness is celebrated. Human beings don't have any knowledge of the Golden Age, so they continue to celebrate it here. However, where can happiness come from in this old Tamo-Pradhan world? People here continue to cry out in distress. This is the world of such sorrow. The Father shows you children a very easy path. Stay at home with your families and remain as pure as a lotus. Remember me while at your business, etc. There is that lover and beloved. They continue to remember one another. That one is his beloved and he is her lover. However, here it is not like that. Here you are lovers of the beloved for birth after birth. The Father does not become your lover. You remember that beloved in order to invite him here. You call out to him even more when there is a lot of sorrow. This is why there is the saying, everyone remembers God at the time of suffering, and no one remembers him at the time of happiness. At this time, the Father is the Almighty Authority. Day by day, Maya is also becoming a Tamo-Pradhan Almighty Authority. Therefore the Father says, Sweet children, now become soul conscious. Consider yourselves to be souls and remember me, your Father, and together with this imbibe divine virtues, and you will become like Lakshmi and Narayan. The main aspect in this study is remembrance. You have to remember the highest on high Father with a lot of love. That Father is the one who establishes the new world. The Father says, I have come to make you children into the masters of the world. Therefore, you must remember me so that your sins of many births can be cut away. People call out to the Father, the Purifier. Now that the Father has come, you definitely have to become pure. The Father is the remover of sorrow and the bestower of happiness. The Golden Age was definitely a pure world, and so all were happy there. Now, once again, the Father says, Children, remember the land of peace and the land of happiness. This is now the confluence age. The boatman is taking you from this shore across to the other side. There is not only one boat, the whole world is like a big ship. He takes that across. You sweet children should have so much happiness. For you there is nothing but happiness. Wah! The unlimited Father is teaching us. You have not heard this before, nor have you studied this. God speaks. I teach you Raj Yoga. I am teaching you spiritual children Raj Yoga, and so you should study it fully. You should study it and also imbibe it fully. Everyone is always number-wise in studying anyway. Each of you should look at yourself. Am I the highest, average, or the lowest? The Father says, check yourself. Am I worthy of claiming a high status? Do I do spiritual service? The Father says, children, become serviceable and follow the Father. I have come for the sake of doing service. I do service every day. This is why I have taken this one's chariot. When this one's chariot becomes ill, I sit in this one and write a Murli. When I cannot speak through his mouth, I write it down instead so that you children don't miss a Murli. Therefore, I am also on service. This is spiritual service. The Father explains to you, sweetest children. Children, you too should engage yourselves in doing the Father's service, on God-fatherly service. The Father, the Master of the whole world, has come to make you into the masters of the world. Those who make good effort are called Mahavirs. It is seen who the Mahavirs are who follow Baba's directions. The Father's order is, consider yourselves to be souls and see others as brothers. Forget those bodies. Baba does not see bodies either. The Father says, I only see souls. However, there is the knowledge that a soul cannot speak without a body. I have come into this body. I have taken it on loan. Only when a soul is in a body can he study. Baba sits here, middle of the forehead. This is an immortal throne. A soul is an immortal image. A soul does not become smaller or larger. Bodies become smaller or larger. The middle of each forehead is the throne of each soul. Everyone's body is different. The immortal thrones of some are those of men, and the immortal thrones of others are those of women. The immortal thrones of some are those of children. The Father sits here and teaches spiritual drill to you, children. Whenever you talk to anyone, first of all consider yourself to be a soul. I, a soul, am talking to this brother. Give the Father's message to remember Shiv Baba. It is by having remembrance that the alloy will be removed. When alloy is mixed in, the value of the gold decreases. When alloy becomes mixed into you souls, you even become valueless. You have to become pure again. Each of you souls has now received a third eye of knowledge. See your brothers with that eye. By having the vision of brotherhood, your sense organs will not become mischievous. If you want to claim your fortune of the kingdom and become the masters of the world, make effort. Consider everyone to be your brother and donate knowledge to them. This habit will then become firm. All of you are true brothers. The Father has come from up above, and you too have come from up above. The Father, together with you children, are doing service. The Father gives you courage to do service. You then have courage. Therefore, you should practice this. I, a soul, am teaching my brother. It is souls that study. This is called spiritual knowledge that you receive from the spiritual Father. The Father comes and gives you this knowledge at the confluence age. Consider yourselves to be souls. You came bodiless and adopted bodies here and played your parts for 84 births. You now have to go back again. Therefore, consider yourselves to be souls and have the vision of brotherhood. You have to make this effort. Each of you has to make your own effort. What concern do we have with others? Charity begins at home. That is, first consider yourself to be a soul and explain to your brothers, and the arrow will strike the target well. You have to fill yourselves with this force. Only when you make effort will you claim a high status. The Father has come to give you the fruit, and so you should make effort. You also have to tolerate a few things. Just remain silent when anyone says anything wrong. What can others do if you remain silent? Clapping takes place with 2 hands. If the first one claps with the mouth, but the other one remains silent, then the first one will automatically become silent. Only when there is the clapping of 2 hands is there noise. You children have to bring benefit to each other. The Father explains, children, if you want to remain constantly happy, become man above. Consider yourselves to be souls and remember the Father. Look at souls, your brothers. Give this knowledge to your brothers. When you conduct meditation, if you consider yourself to be a soul and continue to see others as brothers, good service will then be done. Baba has said, explain to your brothers. All the brothers will take their inheritance from the Father. You Brahmin children only receive this spiritual knowledge once. You are now Brahmins and will then become deities. You cannot leave this confluence age. Otherwise, how could you go across? You cannot jump over it. This is the wonderful confluence age. You children have to instill the habit of staying on the spiritual pilgrimage. This is for your benefit. You have to give the Father's teachings to your brothers. The Father says, I am giving you souls this knowledge. I only see souls. When a human being talks to another human being, he looks at his face. You speak to souls, and so you have to look at each soul. Although you give knowledge with your body, you have to break the consciousness of the body. You souls understand that the Supreme Soul, the Father, is giving you this knowledge. The Father says, I too look at souls. Souls also say, we are looking at the Supreme Soul, the Father. We are receiving knowledge from him. This is called the give and take of spiritual knowledge between one soul and another. Knowledge is within this soul. The knowledge has to be given to that soul. This is like power. If your knowledge is filled with power, it will instantly strike the target when you explain to others. The Father says, "Practice this and see if the arrow strikes the target." Instill this new habit and the consciousness of the body will be removed and fewer storms of Maya will come. You will not have any bad thoughts. The criminal eye will not remain either. We souls have been round the cycle of 84 births. The play is now about to end. You now have to stay in remembrance of Baba. Change from Tamo Pradhan to Sato Pradhan with remembrance, and you will become the masters of the Sato Pradhan world. It is so easy. The Father knows that it is his part to give teachings to the children. This is not a new thing. I have to come every 5,000 years. I am bound by this bondage. I sit here and explain to you children. Sweet children, remain on the pilgrimage of remembrance, and your last thought will lead you to your destination. This is the final period. Remember me alone, and you will receive salvation. Only once do you children receive these teachings for becoming soul conscious. This is such wonderful knowledge. Baba is wonderful, and Baba's knowledge is also wonderful. No one else can tell you this at any time. It is now time to return home. This is why the Father says, "Sweet children, practice this. Consider yourselves to be souls and give knowledge to souls. You have to use your third eye to see others as brothers. This is the greatest effort." Acha. To the sweetest beloved, long lost and now found children, love, remembrance and good morning from the Mother, the Father, Bap-Dada. The spiritual Father says Namaste to the spiritual children, and the spiritual children say Namaste to the spiritual Father. Essence Vedana. 1. Just as the Father has come on spiritual service for you children, follow the Father in the same way and do spiritual service. Follow the Father's directions and eat the nourishing food of happiness and serve it to others. 2. If anyone says anything wrong, just remain silent. There should not be any clapping of the mouth. You have to tolerate everything. Blessing. May you be an easy yogi and set your mind and intellect on your seat with the power of determination. You children have love for the Father, and this is why you have to pay a lot of attention to having powerful remembrance while sitting, walking and moving around and doing service. However, if you don't have total control over your mind, if your mind is not in order, you sit properly for a short time and then begin to fidget. Sometimes you remain set and sometimes you get upset. However, When you use the powers of concentration and determination to set your mind and intellect on your seat of a constant and stable stage, you will then become an easy yogi. Slogan: use your powers at a time of need and you will have very good experiences. Om Shanti. With Avyakt silence, experience the double light angelic stage. Now each and every Brahmin has to become a living image, the same as Father Brahma. Become a float, janki, parade, of a light and might house. Prepare a lecture on the power of thought and silence and play your part as a blessed image in your Karmatit double light angelic stage. You will then come close to perfection. With the Karmatit stage, you will experience your thoughts reaching wherever you want them to.